All right, y'all. Woo! There's the singing again. If you were on earlier, you know I've been singing before we even hit record, but it's March 17th. We've got a long month. It's 31 days this month. There's incredible things. We've already added more people in March to our team than we added in all of January or February. I love the momentum. I always feel like January is kind of like when the train gets going a little bit and we think all of the things are going to start happening. And then February, it kind of picks up speed a little bit, but it's such a short month. And then, of course, this year with the trip and travel and all the things, I just feel like March is almost like January 1st for some reason. Everything just gets kicked off. The specials, the promotions, what you do this month is going to determine the rest of the year. And I know that that might sound a little bit dramatic, but it's so true. The momentum that you create right now is what's going to keep you going all year. That is not to say that if you won't find a business builder in June, July, November, December, or whatever, you will. But the things that you do now, because there are so many people looking for what we have, especially heading into the spring and the summer. And so there is so much to be said about events, y'all. When I think about what happened at the beginning for us to kind of launch this whole team, it was event after event after event. And y'all have heard me say this over and over and over again, and I don't say it with anything but love for my uplines. I did not have anybody telling me what to do. Nobody was like, hey, here's a scripted event. Go do this on Tuesday, and here's what you say at an in-home party, and here's what you do. And I'm telling y'all that because sometimes we way overthink it. We think that we've got to have everything perfect. We think that we've got to have everything mapped out. We're going to do it next week, and fear starts creeping in. You will only grow your business if you are in conversation and you are creating momentum, and that is through events. Posting is amazing. Your mocktail stories, this is the first part of the equation, but you have to be in conversations every single day. And so ask yourself, how many conversations was I in today? Like meaningful conversations with follow up, with new people, with edifying, with getting people going with the business. And if you, and I know because I did several coaching calls yesterday and today, and I know I will tomorrow too. How many of y'all drop a one in the comments if one of the biggest things that you find is that you're talking to the same people over and over and over again? Right? Mina and I talked about this today. It's being able to get outside and do other things. And that's why we do events. And so a couple of y'all had messaged me and asked, because Nikki, this is something that she is rocking, and she has been doing, and it is way very much outside of her comfort zone to have started these. And so we thought that we would have her come on tonight and just kind of talk through events. How I will ask you a couple of questions, Nikki, and those of you that didn't get a chance to send them to me, just drop some questions that you have in the chat. And then I'll kind of ask Nikki some of the stuff because I know that looking at the chat as we're talking can be really, really distracting. And so, Nikki, hide the chat. I'll ask you all the questions. But I'm going to share my screen in just a second too. But would you just first start, Nikki, how you felt when you first started doing events? Will you talk through that for a second?
Um, Very, 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 very scared. Um, I forced myself to go. Once I was there, when people would talk to me, then I would be able to talk. But like, I am not a person who likes to talk to people because I'm afraid what I'm going to say is wrong. Or else it sounds stupid, or if I sound like I sound stupid, or I just worry about that kind of stuff. And my brain works very slow when people ask me questions. Like I think about it before I answer. So like that bothers me too, because like I'm afraid if they ask me a question, like I won't be able to answer it. Um, but I just pushed through it and I kept pushing through it. And I still get scared. Like especially with teachers. Like that day was all teachers, and I was like, I don't feel like I can do teachers. And I was like, Bree, you want to come help me? And she did. But like, you just have to do it and push yourself through it. It definitely got easier. Like the events that I know for sure, like I do an event once a month with the same person, and that one really got easier for me, but it's still hard. I still never want to get up in the morning and go to an event.
Yeah. And I can attest to that. Like when we're doing coaching calls and she's like, I have one, she did one on Thursday, did an all day one on Friday, and has one scheduled for every Saturday in March, y'all. So, Nikki, where are you finding the events at?
So I am using the Facebook event page. You do have to be very careful when you do use them. You need to make sure you're contacting the person who started the event page, because if you go and message underneath them, there are people who are fake who try to get your money. And you just want to make sure that like the person you're contacting is the person who started the event.
So you're just going to Facebook and then to events and searching things in your area.
Yeah, and what I look for is vendor craft shows, or this, the one, the teacher one was actually a teacher friend just reached out and said, anybody who does wellness, would you like to come to the school? And that's how I found that one. But most of them are through the Messenger, no, the Facebook event page. And you have to look for vendor and crafts. If it says maker, they don't want you. Maker is just for craft people and they won't take you. Um, but yeah.
Okay. I am going to pull up a couple of the pictures because Baker just asked a really good question. Um, can y'all see this? Okay. Nikki's setup is like next level, and she has been doing this for months and months and months and months and months. And she also has a room at her house that is just set up with this that's like closed off to her kids. And so when she has Cheryl come over, because this is the next part of this, is Monday nights. She has been hosting events at her house for her team to come over to. So some of y'all have seen like her the air plant one that she's done. Nikki, what else have you done where you made ornaments? You made cocoa bomb ornaments one time.
Keychains.
Yeah, just the coolest, coolest things. And Cheryl is on here too. And that's how I actually got to meet Cheryl. Cheryl actually went silver at one of Nikki's events because Nikki just got to talk to her. We got to talk to her about what it looked like. Cheryl ended up ordering, it was Nikki or Cheryl, was it pumpkin lean? You wanted the extra, so you ordered it for your husband, like ordered under your husband's account because you wanted it, and then wanted it underneath of her daughter's name too, ended up going silver at the event and became an accidental business builder. That's the power of events. And now she's on the Zoom. So when you guys look at these pictures of what Nikki does, know that this just started from one thing. Nikki, can you kind of talk through Baker's question was, where did you find the stuff that's on here? Um,
So like Bree said, I started out, I didn't have any of this stuff. And as it went on, I just added things that I thought would make it better. I'm at the point where like I like my setup, and I probably am not going to change too much of it besides like the specials for each month. Um, the bulletin board thing, those I actually posted those on our Freedom page, so you can go print those off there. Um, the stand I got off Amazon. I know that Ash asked about that stand. I got that off Amazon. Um, trying to see what all.
And I will say that this was a huge eye catch. So when I went down on Friday, people, it catches their eye. I don't know if you guys can see it, but across the top, she has the headers and it'll say like arthritis, pain, weight loss goals, thyroid trouble. And so when people are walking by, it 100% stops them and they start keying in on it. And then these little, can you guys see? These are those plastic like stand-up frames that you can get. And she just went into our Freedom Collective and printed off the graphics for each product and then has the product sitting in front of them. And that was a huge thing because then she could just pick it up and talk to people about it. Go ahead, Nikki.
Yeah, and that bulletin board, like that was my, so I just added that in like in September, and it's made a big difference because before people weren't stopping, but now they see, oh, I have that issue. Let me read. And then they'll read it and then they come closer and then you can talk to them. Otherwise, you get that I'm not looking at you. I'm walking by. I don't want to talk to you at all.
And some
Um,
people still do that.
some people still do that, but that catches people's eye to draw them into you and then they'll talk to you. Otherwise, they just walk past.
Yeah. I think I have it on here too. Oh, I did that one twice. Nikki, can you talk about your giveaway? How many people did you get to enter that on Friday?
I think there was 14 when I went through there and counted it.
Yeah.
14 or 16 or something like that.
Okay.
Um,
Talk a little bit about that.
so I just took one of those free plastic water bottles they give you when you join, and I stuffed them with like all different products. Like one of them was an active I don't even like. And I just stuffed them in there and made it like guess how many are in here. Whoever guesses the right number wins. And that actually, a lot of people like that one. So sometimes I'll just have like a prize giveaway. That one I made them guess.
And so it's a form that's in there, and then she gets their information on that so she can do the follow-up with it, which is an
But
amazing way. Go ahead.
I think I can post that one. I think I have that one. I think I can post that one. We'll see. Some
I
of
think
them
that
I
one's
got
already
through,
in the page.
some of them I did through Etsy, so I can't forward them to people, but I think I can that one.
I think that one was from our page originally. So we'll get that one. Can you talk about the scan me code too?
Okay, QR codes are very important at vendor shows because people want quick and easy. That one, you can make QR codes. There are free places. You can find them on the internet. Adobe has one that's free. It's called Adobe QR codes, and it's absolutely free. Also, if you have Canva, you can do them on Canva. That takes people right to my Facebook page, and they can friend request me right then. And if they do, I'll give them like a sample pack or something. So that's one of the most important things is trying to get them on Facebook. The teacher event was a little harder because a lot of teachers don't want to give their Facebook page away because of them being a teacher. And they don't want students or other people seeing them. And a lot of them didn't even have them when I went to look for them. So, um, and I did a QR code for it actually takes people right to my Plexus page too on, yeah, the back of the Plexus catalog.
So
So, yeah.
this right here. So y'all are asking about like things to hand out. She printed these labels out and it's a QR code on the back of those two. So this is just the catalog that you can get through the Plexus website. And then she has a business card that she can hand out to people too, because everybody was asking her about that.
And I just feel like when you just have a catalog without your info, people can take that catalog home and order without you. They can order through Plexus and it will be like they won't even know the difference. With that on the back, it gives them an incentive to go through your account.
Okay, drop other questions in the chat too. And those of you that have done events, if you want to drop your top takeaways in here too. I do, Cheryl, you're not going to love this because I know you don't love being the center of the spotlight. I just feel like I'm calling y'all out. Cheryl and Nikki and I did a coaching call last week. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago now? And we were talking about events, and Cheryl was like, I want to do this, and I think I'm going to do it a week-long event. We were kind of going back and forth in what she was going to do. Her heart was beating out of her chest. I feel like you could see it on the Zoom, maybe not that dramatic. But she ended up hosting her first messenger event last week. And y'all, I'm saying that because it's never going to feel normal, right? It's never going to feel normal to go and do an event. It's never going to feel normal to go and put yourself out there and host an event online, right? Colleen's getting ready to do one this week. It doesn't feel normal, right? Because it's outside of your comfort zone. But it does not matter if you have one person or five people or 10 people. Wendy just did one on, was it Thursday night, Wendy? And instead of being in our big team one, she had already planned to do one Thursday night. And what I loved about her doing her own is because it's your accountability, right? If you're hosting it, Wendy's like, yeah, it was. Because Thursday afternoon, she was like, there's only a couple people in there. And guess what she started doing? Messaging people she never would have messaged. And I know this because she's one of my best friends, never would have messaged these people, but she knew that she needed to because she wanted to grow her event. If she would have just been coming to our big team event, guarantee you she wouldn't have messaged them because there's no sense of urgency, right? This is the important piece of doing your own events. Yesterday, Mandy Baker and Deanna, I don't think Deanna's on here, jumped on a Zoom, and Mandy was like, I think I want to do a Zoom. And the problem about telling me that you think you're going to do something, Baker and I were like, pick a date. Like, what's your date? She's like, I'm like, nope, pick a date. So this Sunday, she's doing a plant and sip at her house. Because y'all, if you want to move your needle, you've got to be willing to do the things. And sometimes we think, and I used to do this all the time. How many of y'all have thought like, oh, when I'm gold or I'm senior gold or I'm ruby or I'm emerald, then I'm going to start doing the things. You have to show up in a way that's going to get you to those places. And if you wait, you're not going to get there. Nikki, I saw you post about this today. I probably will not get through this without crying. They're already coming. But I want to end y'all with this because I have watched this woman go through some of the hardest things in life. And on Tuesday of last week, she found out news that no mom wants to find out about her kids. And I'm telling y'all this now because it's on her Facebook page. And when she was telling me about it Tuesday and Wednesday, and she had an event planned for Thursday, and she had an all-day event planned for Friday, any one of us would have been like, I can't do it. I need time to take this in. I need time to do the things that I need to do with my family. Never once did that come out of Nikki's mouth to me. She might have thought it, but not one time was she like, yep, I'm not going to show up. I don't feel like going on Thursday. I don't feel like going on Friday. I'm just not going to do it. Because she knows why she's doing it. She has God-sized plans for that beautiful family of hers, and Carson is one of the biggest reasons why she does this. So never was it a like, oh, I found out this news, I'm not going to show up now. How many times, y'all, and I'm going to call every single one of us out, have I sat down at my computer and I'm like, oh, I'm going to send this message to somebody, or I'm going to plan this event, or I'm going to do this thing. And then I'm like, oh, but it's easier to go fold the laundry. And it's easier to watch TikTok. And it's easier to just put up a post and say that I'm working my business. But if we know why we want this and we're willing to get into action every single day and be in conversations, y'all, posting is important. Your mocktail stories that you're doing and crushing in your stories, it's important. But how many conversations are you in? How many events are you planning? And what are you focusing on? Y'all know I say this all the time in my coaching calls because it's right smack dab in the middle of my dream board. It's a question that I'm faced with every single day. What am I focusing on? Am I focusing on the fear and the lack? Or am I focusing on where I want to go with this and who I'm bringing with me? And this lately, because Alita has been drilling me with this, are you staying close to the energy? If you are not feeling energized about your business, you need to get on a coaching call. You need to watch a video. You need to plug into a YouTube video that's motivational, and you need to know why. Otherwise, all of this stuff, it's going to be like, oh, that sounds great for Nikki. I'm so glad that she's doing it. I'm so glad that Mandy's got one planned for Sunday, but I could never do that. Those are the things that are going to move your needle. And I am going to challenge y'all, every single new person that has joined your team in the last since January, it is not too late. It's not too late for anybody, actually. Y'all are crushing getting me on three-way calls. Wendy just got another one scheduled for Thursday. I know Angie's working on two right now. Baker, we had one scheduled for tonight and something came up. We've got another one scheduled for tomorrow night. Get as many people as you can on a three-way call. It does not have to look like, hey, you're going to start doing the business with me. Come do the business. It's, hey, we always get everybody on a three-way call because we want to talk through the products and just go over everything with you. And then we get to casually mention the opportunity with them. And then guess what happens when they found their accountability partner, accountability buddy, trying to mix all the words. They don't know to do any different. The things that we want our team to do, we have to be willing to show up and do them too. They join you because they saw you do an event or host an event. Guess what they're going to think is normal? To invite everybody to events and to do events. Adding them to the team page. Y'all, we know the things. You just have to ask yourself if you're doing them. And then doing them repeatedly. Okay. This is not just like a one and done because Nikki, talk just for a second and we'll end this out about follow up after events because this is a huge piece, whether it's in person or whether it is online.
Follow-up, I try to make it either that night or the very next day. I don't like to push it off because when they're thinking about it, they want to do it. If you let it go for a couple days, they're not thinking about it anymore and they may not message you back. The follow-ups that I did on my teacher event, I have not got anybody to answer me back yet. But the one lady, she actually Facebook friended me before I even set out follow-ups. And she saw a post that I had put on with one of my discounts. And she's like, I'm really am interested in that. And I'm like, okay, let me get you the stuff here. And so she had joined there, but I try to follow up directly after the event.
I love it. And I think, Gina, thank you for posting your pictures in there. I think that that's a perfect example and full story because Gina went to an event at Mina's house and then she just knew to do them because that's the duplication piece of it. And she's got huge goals and huge dreams. And so if we want to see the fruit of our business and we want to be able to keep reaching out and doing things for people and teaching our team the things that we want them to do, we have to be willing to do it too. Okay, tomorrow night, 9 o'clock, set your alarms, stay up a little bit later. Alita is doing a call all about how to get business builders. Their team right now is massive, massive momentum, and everybody is becoming a business builder. And so she agreed to do this call and have our team on it too. It will be incredible, incredible, incredible. So tomorrow night at 9 o'clock, and I know we have the opportunity Zoom right now, and Karen's got somebody tuning into it too. So y'all, we have 2 weeks left in this month. Every single day, be willing to get into action, not just with one message, not just with one post, but just like Mina's book study, what are you willing to do one more time? If you can do it one more time and 1% habit increases, your business will 10x this year. All right. I love you, ladies. Happy Monday.